Hey everybody, it's Melissa from Infinity Science Center. I missed you guys an awful lot. Today I have a little lab for you. Now I'm going to just run through the experiments, but there's going to be some worksheets attached to this link on our Facebook page. So let's get started. So our lab is going to be about the surface tension of water, and you can see my setup. So I have a pretty large bin with water in it. This is a boat. Good at making boats, but this will work. I have some water in those saucers over there, and that water is just plain water. This one has sequins in it. We're going to add something to that. I have milk here. I have dish soap, which is right there. I have Q-tips, food coloring, some water, some coins, and some more water if I need it. So we're going to talk about the surface tension of water, which is a really strong force. And just so that you parents can adjust this to your students, I'm going to refrain from doing a whole lot of teaching right now. It will be included in the materials. I just want to demo some of the experiments. And the other thing is, I really want you to practice the scientific method with your students, where they make a hypothesis or a guess about what they think is going to happen, and then watch the experiment, and then talk about the results and make new hypotheses or retest their results. So I really do want them to work through the scientific method. And again, all of the science will be in the handout. So we are going to be using the dish soap to act as a surfactant. And I'm actually just going to start with the bin of water here. So I made what looks like a little boat, and I'm just going to put it in there. There, it's not sinking. Okay, we're good. I'm going to come over and get some of my dish soap. Okay, now, just behind the boat, I'm going to touch, and actually it dropped in there, and look at that boat go. So the surface tension of water is broken by the dish soap, which acts as something called a surfactant. And again, I want you to look that up. Is the surface tension breaks, it pushes the boat away. Now you can be way more creative with your boat than that. Now, on this side, I'm going to use some black pepper. I have just plain water in this dish. All right, I'm going to put the pepper on, and I want you to think about what's going to happen here as I'm going to set up this experiment and then do it. So just some pepper, just plain old black pepper. I'm going to use a different Q-tip, and I'm going to touch it just in the center. And look at that. That's really interesting, isn't it? Now, we'll do the same thing to the sequins, which aren't arranged quite the same way, but let's see what it does. Well, look at that. So I want you to be thinking about is what you thought was going to happen, what actually happened. Now, the surface tension of water is going to cause things to cling, and we're going to do the milk last. So I'm going to, first of all, if you look at this glass, I have some liquid in there. It's just water. Actually, I'm going to do this because I spill. Those of you that know me know I spill. Okay. I'm just going to start filling until it overfills. And that's why I have it on this pan. Then you might want to get something with a spout. Now, when I've got it to this point, I'm going to take a little syringe, and I'm going to begin to just fill and see how much I can fill before gravity takes over and goes ahead and lets it spill. I'm doing it this way just so that I have some control of the situation. Look at that. Think about what might be happening here. And again, I went back and forth about teaching a full lesson, and I thought I really want you to experiment and for you parents to be the teachers using the material that I give you, so that you can run through this with your kids, and you can adapt this all the way from preschool all the way through high school, and the concepts, and I'll make sure you have the materials to do that. And now we're beginning to spill over. Now I also have some coins, and using my syringe, I can begin to do the same thing on a quarter. And you can try different coins. You can, look at that. So it finally spilled. So that's one thing that you can do is let the kids experiment with different coins and maybe even different solutions. Now finally, and this is pretty cool, I'm going to take some food coloring and I'm just going to put some drops in the milk. I like blue, so I put more. I'm going to make this one more scattered and that one more of a pattern. A little yellow. And this is all your pattern. How do you want to do this? You know, there's no harm in you making a different pattern. And finally, how about some green? Some of you may have done this experiment, but for those of you who have not, this is pretty cool. So now, before I do anything, I want you to think about for a minute what might happen here. Okay, so again, Q-tip and the dish soap. Let's start with the unorganized pattern. Let's see what happens. That's pretty cool. Now, how about the one that was a little more organized? Oop, I dropped it in there, and did you see what happened? Just a drop. So, pretty neat. Let's try some more of that. Let's try just putting drops and see what happens. So the surface tension's broken at this point, so now it's just kind of mixing on its own. Okay? So that gives you some really neat experiments to try. First, explaining surface tension of water to your students at home.